Noswaith dda, i chi gyd. Mae'n braf bod yma heno. Good evening, everyone. It's great to be here this evening, and thank you, Hay Festival, for the invitation. It's just 2 months to go before the Hay Festival. I'm going to put this down a bit so I can see you a bit better. So, are you sitting comfortably? Oh dear. That's not what I want to hear this evening. I believe that if we're going to lead and live deeply fulfilling lives, we need to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Small doses of adversity are good for us. It's only when we step outside of our comfort zones that we can realise our true potential. Now, some years ago, I was stood at the foot of Cabaret with a group of young people, about to embark on an ascent, when a young woman said to me, "Oh, I hate walking. I can't stand the outdoors. This is going to be a long day," I thought to myself. Why do we do these things? To get off the beaten track? To witness sunrise, sunsets? For a digital detox, perhaps? In this case, and unbeknown to this young lady as she looked up at the steep steps which began the climb, it was to prove to her family that as a young solo mum, she did have what it takes and that she could face up to the challenges which lay ahead. There's something magical about reaching the top of a mountain, more than the views. It can restore and it can empower. But you have to ride the highs and the lows to get there. In my book, Peak Performance, I wrote, "After 6 hours of climbing, our bright yellow tents at Camp 3 came into view. It was not a sight that gave me any relief. Perched on a narrow ledge and staked down with heavy ropes to stop the 100-mile-an-hour winds from ripping them off the mountain face, our tents looked just how I felt, vulnerable and exposed." And it was that night, camped at 7,100 metres in altitude on Everest, when I experienced, for the first time, Cheyne-Stokes respiration, where for a split second, I stopped breathing. A timely and terrifying reminder that we would, the next day, be climbing into the death zone. In my video diary, I told myself, if you fall, you're dead. But for me, at the age of 25, the potential rewards outweighed the risks. And my climb to the summit began at 9 p.m. We ascended at a painfully slow rate in the darkness. As the sun rose, it cast this magnificent light onto the mountains around us and revealed Everest's own shadow. As the daylight grew, that shadow diminished, and we inched our way and made our tentative, oxygen-deprived steps onto the summit. At 7:30 a.m., I stood on the summit of Mount Everest in awe of what lay around me. I could see the curvature of the earth in the distance and a multitude of peaks poking out through the blanket of cloud beneath us. It was a moment I wanted to go on forever. And in some ways, it has gone on forever. That lasting impact of realising the goal that I had set myself is that you see possibility everywhere. Big things don't happen overnight. The art of going slowly and playing the long game is often underutilised. I frequently think we've got it too easy in this fast-paced world. Answers at our fingertips, our favourite takeaways available to us within minutes, new products on our doorstep the next day. Expeditions make life simple. So where can we find that daily dose of adventure that could enhance our lives at a deeper level? On a bike. Not embarking on some epic challenge or trying to set new records, simply choosing to travel by bike. Commuting from A to B on those everyday journeys, home to school, school to the shops, shops to the office. Pure freedom, effort and freewheeling juxtaposed. Moving through the environment at a speed which is aligned with our sensory abilities. Cycling can connect us with the world around us in ways that other forms of transport cannot. And so I'm at the start of a mission to get more kids on bikes. And there's this thing called the bike bus. No bus involved. It's all about getting kids to school by bike. They congregate with their bikes at the bike bus stop and then cycle as a group to school, collecting other children on their bikes along the way, accompanied by some thumping drum and bass music, or music of their choice. And they love it. They arrive energised and ready to learn. Ask any primary school class how many of them cycle to school, and a few hands will go up. Ask them how many would like to cycle to school, and a whole class of hands goes up. There are many barriers that need removing for young people to do this, but it's possible. We need to move towards the difficult stuff, and schools here in Cardiff are leading the way when it comes to bike buses. So my world of different is on a bike. It's just that I don't want those journeys to be the exception. I'd love to see them as the norm. So come join me for the ride. Thank you.